Hey, what's up, everybody out there on YouTube? My name is Evan, and today I'm going to be doing a fly tying tutorial of an annelid. Okay, now this is going to be a black annelid, so it's not necessarily like a blue or red. Generally, you'll see more like red annelids, but I've had really good experience and really good luck with a black one, a black annelid. Um, and that's in specifically to my waters. I don't know if the fish are thinking that it might be like a millipede or something like that, but effectively to this pattern, you could actually tie in some goose biots if you wanted to, some black goose biots, and sort of make it look more like a millipede or something like that. But I'm going to show you the basics of this, and you don't need anything very special to tie this. So you just need sort of this attractor pattern hook. So this one actually has sort of a curved shank, and it's a 2x. So a 2x long curved shank. You're gonna need that for something that's gonna be like an annelid like this. And then this is a size 12. So you don't have too much room in between the shank and the tip of the hook, right? You have just enough to where that fish is gonna capture on and bite down and not inhale the hook to where it's in their throat or anything like that. So it works out nice that way. So we're gonna go ahead and start off with some black thread. This is regular Ultra Thread 210. Okay, this is gonna sort of allow me to get in there and lay the foundation pretty heavily. Right. We're gonna start out at the front of the hook here. I'm going to start off at the front of the hook, put a couple wraps. I'm going to wrap all the way down till we start getting into the downward bend, maybe around the barb. And we're going to work our way back up. And put in just what I do here usually is I'm going to go ahead and get some black wire. And you can find actually this black wire at various places. You can even find it at like hobby stores and stuff. That's what this looks like. It's 26 gauge black wire. Right? There's a few places you just got to get kind of creative. Where I'm at, there's not a single fly shop, I think, in my vicinity. So I had to get kind of creative as to where I can find certain materials. But that's what that looks like. It's a completely black 26 gauge wire. And 26 is nice because it's in between the pliability of something thinner and also the strength of something thicker. So the 26 gauge is just right for me. It takes a little bit longer to helicopter it off, but that's fine with me. So I tie it in starting right about where I had that head. And put a couple of wraps right there. We'll wrap all the way back. To the back of the hook. Right before we ended our previous wrap. And we're going to wrap this back up to the front. What I do usually is I'll put in a couple of whip finishes here, because whenever you're tying like wire like this toward the front, sometimes the hook will lean down, especially if it's like a thinner gauge wire, and you can lose some of your wraps that way. So what I'll do is I'll put in like maybe 3 whip finishes just like that around the front, right behind the eye. Just let that stay like that. And also too, the good thing is if you have like a bobbin holder, you can reach out and purchase on your bobbin holder and it won't unravel. So that's just an idea that you can use. Now with this wire, I'm going to use my left index finger to kind of push this and give it some help to push forward. So I'm going to be wrapping this toward you. So that first wrap, we're going to get down to nice and tight. as tight as we can. And then we're gonna start wrapping forward. That's one, let's see. And I put about 1 millimeter in between each wrap. Right. You kind of want to make sure that they're relatively symmetrical because fish key in on that kind of stuff. Although what's interesting about flies is that sometimes the uglier the fly, the more hits he'll get on it. Just depending, who knows, you know, who knows what's going on with fish sometimes. So that last wrap is going to be around the front. Okay, we're going to leave this up high. We're going to actually wrap, okay, once in the back, 2 times in the back, once in the front, and then 2 more times in the back. 1, 2, just like that. Anchor that sucker down there. Now, again, like I said, it's going to take a little time to helicopter this loose. But, you know, if you get good at it eventually, because this is actually thicker than normal wire that you'd use for fly tying. But I like using it because it's more durable. There's less of a chance of me actually breaking off during the time when I'm tying. So it takes a little bit longer to helicopter it off, but it's not too bad. That's the remainder wire. I'll go ahead and throw that in the trash. Now, what you can do here, go ahead and throw in a couple of whip finishes. You can actually hide this whip finish in between a segment. So I'll put in 3 of those segments, and then we can clip off. Go ahead and clip it off here. Now, so this is where things get sort of interesting. We're going to go ahead and cover this in a resin, a UV resin. So I'm going to take a little bit here. I'm going to put some of this on the back of this fly. Cool, that's just enough, I think. We got our paper clip, actually, that I just kind of made into a spreader. And we just want just enough to where, you know, it's going to cover our fly pretty well, give it some protection. That's probably a little bit too much, but whenever you're cleaning and you put too much on, just make sure that you clean it off your bodkin as opposed to touching the fly too much, because you kind of want that sort of glossy sort of mirror finish. And sometimes if you touch the fly using like a paper towel or something, it can end up making the fly look kind of raggedy. Get a little bit off the bottom. Cool. Now what I do is I'll take my rotary and I'll kind of look all around, trying to get all this into any part that I see that's threadish. And then I'll kind of move it around a little bit so that the ribs themselves are more prominent. Build up that front, make sure that's covered in well. And that's pretty much it, guys. You know, you get better as you tie these. This one's not exactly perfect, but it's gonna do the job just fine. And that's the black Annelid for you guys. And you know, I've had tons of luck with this. You know, what I do is because I tie quite a few of these at one moment, I'll just go ahead and take this out and put it underneath my black light, because I have a black light that I just put them on, and it has like a standing paper clip that I just mount it to. But I hope you guys enjoyed that. See how it's got that nice sheen finish to it? That'll actually protect it while it's in the water. So I just take it off using some forceps. I usually take it off here, either here or at the front where the eyelid is. Lock it in place, take it out. Yeah. Oh, and yeah, you got to make sure you you clip this back end off. I didn't do that. Let's go ahead and clip that back enough. But that's how that works, guys. You know? And I hope you get a chance to actually try tying this. I think you'll really like it, you know, if you start using it quite a bit. Use my old scissors, just take that off there. Right away, I'll clean them with some tissue. Make sure all your stuff is nice and clean. That's it, guys. Hope you have a good day.